come to a picture with questions. I come to it trying to figure things out. I don't have this great agenda where I say, this is what I want to do, and because there's too many surprises. People don't expect to see anybody painting a picture at County Road 42 and 35W on the on-ramp. I do lots of different kinds of landscapes. I'm interested in painting in suburban sites right now, but I like painting in the city parks. I like painting around my neighborhood. I'd like to find locations that look like they were painted in 2010. I came to enjoy and be interested in this kind of painting because having worked on a pop music magazine for 10 years, and I was just looking for something that was more timeless. My parents passed away, my brother-in-law passed away, and I figured it was time to get off the sofa. I was taught to draw with line, but there aren't any lines out there. There's big shapes. And so that's when I got these babies, so you can mass draw or draw in the big shapes as opposed to draw lines. Really? I like to paint out in an urban environment, particularly a suburban environment, because it's a location that isn't painted quite often. Most landscape painters I know go out and look for the bucolic or a more romantic landscape that is more timeless. I like suburban environments because it's the world we live in. It's the world we shop in, we drive through, we eat in, we work in, we park in, we go to the Cineplex in, we go to the restaurant in, and it's the world around us, and it's everywhere USA. Usually they're very positive. People stop on the stop sign here, stoplight, and say, nice job, or they smile. People are generally sort of pleased to see somebody out painting a picture. The process of being here is a lot different than painting in your studio from a photograph. I heard a quote from a painter once. He said, there's painting from a photograph and then there's painting outside. And the first is like going to the library and getting a book on Paris and painting a picture from a photograph in the book. And the second is like going to Paris for 2 weeks with your girlfriend. It's just very, you smell the smells and you feel the breeze and you get bitten by the bugs and you have people talking to you while you're outside, and it's an adventure. Initially what I was interested in was in this shape of this guardrail and the swoop of the whole on-ramp, and I really was interested in this unnatural green of this highway sign. That green is so chemical and so toxic and so unnatural looking. I love the way it relates to the natural organic greens of an environment. So I like that contrast.
I think in Scott's work you really see an attention to the craft of painting, and that is visible in several different dimensions, but really a firm grasp on rendering, how to render form, the use of color, the ability to communicate light and time of day. And what's interesting about Scott's work is that he does have images of so-called traditional landscape, but you also see urban scenes, suburban scenes. It's really interesting to see somebody who has his skill and ability in terms of the form of art and making art, turning his attention to this range of subject matter.
When the I-35W bridge collapsed, I was interested and horrified like everybody else. After the construction, after they started to rebuild again, I realized that the view that was opened up by the collapse of the bridge, the view from that 10th Avenue bridge looking toward the riverfront really described the history of Minneapolis. I realized that it was going to be closed up fairly soon. So I got down there and with the intention of painting the vista that was before me. I had no intention of looking at the collapse, but then when I saw the reconstruction, it was a very positive feeling, and I wanted to celebrate a renewal. I thought there was just an infinite amount of subject around there. The advantage of painting outside is that you don't have any time. The movement of the sun and the atmosphere changing and the elements changing so quickly is a good thing because it brings a vibrancy to your brushwork that's honest, and it also brings a decision making to the painting which helps you decide, helps the painter decide what that painting is about. Painting outside is always a challenge because of the wind, because of the bugs primarily. Bugs are a big problem because they get in your ears, they get in your nostrils. Because of the smell of the paint, a lot of times, they love to land on your painting. Bugs just don't die gracefully. You'd think you could just wipe paint right over the top of them, but somehow they manage to get in there and they drag across. They make a line as their corpse floats across the surface. It's hard to paint when it's snowing. When the snow lands on your palette, it kind of makes this sandy, gritty sort of texture, which is not great. I love having done it and I love the results, but a lot of times it's just out and out grueling. Hopefully, if it's successful, it's because I'm alerting them or describing something that they may not have seen before or noticed as being interesting. It's not beautiful in the sense of my wife is beautiful or a sunset in the Boundary Waters is beautiful, but I find it compelling. And so that's what I'm after in terms of making a picture, is a compelling picture. And granted, it's a still picture where people are bombarded with 30,000 media images a day, most of them moving, and it's a tough job trying to make a still picture compete on that basis. So there has to be something really interesting about that scene. And it's a big challenge, but it's rewarding if you can pull it off.